to our campsite. We're gonna go stay at a campsite near Mount Fuji. And I guess where we last left off, we were driving away from Kusatsu. From Kusatsu. And as we're driving right now, we keep getting these amazing views of Fuji, which is kind of crazy because we're still like an hour away, and I think the views are just only going to get better. So we're very excited about that. But yeah, yesterday evening, let's see here, I gotta make a turn here. We, man, look at that mountain. I was telling Kim, the more we see of Mount Fuji, the more I want to climb it. Like, it just looks like a lot of fun. But,
it's not even a 14er.
Not even 14,000 feet tall. That's right. Yeah, so we went to Nagano, and I guess the first thing we did was we went to a giant wooden temple there. Zokuji?
I feel like there's definitely another.
There's something else?
I thought there was another consonant in there somewhere.
I think it's Zoji Temple. And we were right there just as the sun was setting, and all the lights were kind of pretty. Wow, look at Fuji. Amazing. Yeah, so we walked around. There was like a outdoor street that we walked around on a bit, and got some gifts and snacks and stuff like that. Nagano is known for their apples, so we ended up picking up some frozen apple ice cream, custard stuff. Oh, it was so good. With like a little apple tart, apple pie kind of thing. And then we went to a mega Don Quixote, which is like a giant store. And I ended up going around the store a bit to try and find some gifts for people, and didn't really come away with too much of it, but just enjoyed the experience of like shopping at a giant Japanese thing. They had things there like the umeshu plum wine for like 700 yen, which is just ridiculous because that's basically like $4 or $5.
Oh yeah, and then
in the US it's like 30 or something,
And then did you see how many liters that whiskey thing you picked up was?
Oh yeah, they had giant vats of whiskey that you could buy for fairly cheap too.
It's almost like a quarter of a barrel.
Right. Yeah, and then after that we went to a whiskey bar in Nagano because I wanted to try a bunch of Japanese whiskey, and I tried 4 different whiskeys from the Chichibu distillery, all of which you can't buy. They were like some sort of special reserve, something or other. I meant to try whiskeys so that I could figure out which one I want to take home with me. So I kind of messed up there because all the whiskeys I tried, you can't buy no matter how much money you have, because they only made a few of them. But we did end up. Kim got a flight, and the flight had some Yoichi from Nika, and that was pretty good. So we're gonna try and find a bottle of that somewhere. I guess we're getting closer to these mountains, so Mount Fuji is kind of being influenced by it. It's kind of interesting. Earlier today, there was a whole bunch of clouds on the downwind side that looked really interesting. But yeah, at the whiskey bar, we met a few people. At first, they wanted to put us on the table by ourselves, but we decided to sit at the bar, and we made a few friends. We met a couple who had been to San Francisco a couple of times. We talked to them. This was all in Japanese. We talked to them about what we'd like to do, what we're doing, how we're driving around in this like camper van, and I was kind of ordering whiskey and tasting it. I started off tasting the whiskey that he recommended. He turned out to be a politician. His name was Makoto, I think. But exactly. Oh yeah, he gave us his card. I ordered whiskey not knowing how much it was going to be, so I was a little bit worried that it was going to be really, really expensive. And overall, it ended up costing me about like $43, so not too bad to try like, I don't know, 6 different types of whiskey, I guess. And they were all like really like special, like fancy whiskeys, you know.
All very unique and something that you can't buy in any store.
No, it is interesting that I tried some stuff that I know 100% I will never taste ever again in my life, no matter how hard I try. There's like no way I'll ever find it, you know. Like some of these bottles were like part of like a test reserve or something like that.
Oh yeah,
like a couple bottles.
It was like an experimental. Yeah.
They were all really good. Very different. Some were smoky, some weren't so smoky. Some tasted like water in comparison to the others. Yeah, so I guess Makoto and his wife had been to San Francisco before. She was a Warriors fan and knew about Steph Curry and was a big fan. And Makoto was a
Seattle's baseball fan.
Let's see, what was the team? I can't even remember the team name that he was interested in. We just thought it was really interesting that they were so into American sports and knew more about sports than we did, you know. Even being like Bay Area residents, like being surrounded by Warriors stuff all the time, you know. And then this morning, what did we do? This morning we woke up at a Michino Eki, somewhere in the middle of farmland that Kim found. And early in the morning, it was really busy. It turned into a market. People were buying stuff. We found a breakfast that you could get there from a vending machine. Well, you get a ticket from a vending machine and then pass the ticket to these cooks, and they make you like the breakfast. And it was kind of a crazy breakfast, but it only cost 500 yen, which is crazy. And it was a complete breakfast with like a pork soup and rice and this crazy slimy substance that apparently, when I asked the lady what it was, she said tororo. And I looked up tororo, and that means sweet potato. And I just I don't understand how that slimy white substance could have ever been a sweet potato, but it was like quite an experience to eat. And then what else did we do today? I guess we drove to Lake Suwa, which is a location that Kimi no Nawa was in. It's like a really pretty mountain lake kind of thing with a town all around it. That's where the meteor crashed, right, in the movie. So that was pretty cool. Really pretty, and we saw some like distant views of Fuji, and since then we've been driving there. We just had okonomiyaki from a place that a whole lunch of okonomiyaki, it was delicious food, was 300 yen. It just like blew our minds. It's so cheap, you know. It's like $1.50 or something. So cheap.
Yeah.
For a full lunch, and it was just like delicious. The okonomiyaki place had manga in it, so we were reading some manga. And we just picked up a bunch of ingredients to make nabe tonight. So we're gonna have our little camping experience where we camp and make nabe. But yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say, I guess. Did I miss anything?
Oh, it was snowing this morning at the little Michino Eki we're at.
Yeah, I went for a run this morning, and I kept seeing cars come out of the mountains with snow on them. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
It looks like we need
Use the left lane to take the ramp.
We're trying to get gas right now, and we have to find our way over to the gas station. But yeah, I guess that's it for now.